The problem with drinking as a young man on the rise, and honestly that title should be just any man, because I see a lot of older guys get completely effed by alcohol because of a number of two reasons. So in this video, I want to talk about my kind of problem. It's not a problem. I'm not addicted to this thing, but I have a very high threshold to stuff that I get addicted to. Pretty much I've got an addictive personality. That's good and bad. I'll talk about that in a second. But alcohol can wreck your whole life, and it can definitely wreck a business. It can completely destroy a business. There's older guys in their 40s out there that are getting absolutely destroyed. They start a business as younger guys, 19, 20, 21. There's guys my age, 25, 26, 27, 28, whatever. And we're doing well, but this has always been the one that creeps up in me. If it's not drink, it might be some sort of drug. It might be something else, like a female. It might be a number of these things. But I think drinking is probably one of the worst that can totally destroy a business if you're starting out. So again, this video is how can you get around drinking, because I understand. I'm a guy just like you. I have these urges to get in that kind of party vibe, even though you need to stay away from it from some degree. So I'm going to tell you a little story. And if you are struggling with this and you do want to take a business seriously, you probably need to listen up, because once I quit alcohol, I didn't need to quit it. I'll talk about that in a second, my kind of like threshold and what I accept. But once I severely dropped alcohol, things started to change. So here's a younger version, 5 years or so ago. 22-year-old Jake, right here. This was pretty much a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday. And to be honest, it used to be a lot more. It used to be every single day, pretty much. And the problem with this is you're getting absolutely nothing done. How can you possibly start a business, start a side hustle, start a YouTube channel, start an e-com store, start anything you want to start building and researching crypto projects if that's what you're interested in, even function in a 9-to-5 job or a sales job if you're trying to progress and get promotion. If you're doing this to like 4 or 5 a.m., you're getting up at 9, how are you going to compete with a guy that drinks once a week, that doesn't even drink at all, or just can handle it? Do you know what I mean? Because chances are you're like me and you can't handle this shit. So I'm back in the UK. I've been back from Thailand now for a couple of weeks now. The problem is I'm severely bored. Now I've been networking. I was in London. I've got a London meet with my community coming soon. But when it gets to Friday, Saturday, I get a little bit antsy. I'm like, oh, fuck. You know, people are asking me to come out. These new friends that I'm starting to hang around with, they're asking me to come out. My old friends, Dean, I've got a story with you guys. It's quite funny, but, you know, it leads into this title. Like, they're all asking me to come out because I'm back in the UK. The problem is I'm very addicted to this short-term gratification. I've always had a trouble with it. And when I got rid of it and I just stayed in the house all day, I made massive progress on my YouTube channel, on my other YouTube channel. It's not this channel, my other YouTube channel. It's got 40k right now. It's making 30 grand a month. It's doing very, very well. My e-com stores, when I first started, got massive success when I quitted the booze. I was trying to do e-com pretty much here. Pretty much this time when I pretty much gave it up, this was like a leaving party for this girl right here, Natalie. And then I pretty much left, I think, a month or so after, because I started to get success in e-com, because I quit all this shit, right? And that's the difference, guys. So I'm not bored because my girlfriend's here, my little dog's here. Those are the fun stuff in life, right? Love her to death, but she can only do so much, boys. She can only do so much. So I need this happy medium of both. But I had an absolute disaster last Saturday with one of my buddies called Dean. Now, he rings me up and he says, Jake, I've not seen you in ages. We're going to Edinburgh. We're getting a train. I said, F no, I'm a professional. I'll drive. It's fine. We'll get to the end of the story. It wasn't fine. But, you know, I got some dopamine. I've not seen this guy in a while. I didn't want to say I grew up with him, but I met him when I came to Glasgow from Dumfries. And he was kind of like my first guy that I used to hang around with because I didn't have any friends. I had a girlfriend, and then I got a job in the gym, and I didn't know anybody, right? So I had to make some friends, or I was going to be fucked. And he was a guy who came up to me. We had good physiques. We still do, I think. And we connected well. But the problem was, I got into this party lifestyle. If you know anything about Dumfries, it's a very quiet, there's like one club and like, the girls are not even worth it. So you end up just sitting in your house all day, to be honest. And that's fine, I like that. But the problem is when you're introduced to Glasgow, and like, Glasgow's fucking nothing compared to like Thailand and Dubai and like these Spanish countries and all this other place. From what I've heard, I've not been to, a couple of them, but I know Thailand's crazy for going out, and it's just not even going out to do degenerate stuff. It's just nice. It's just constantly nice. So if you come from Dumfries to Glasgow, it's like, wow, there's a big difference. There's way more girls. There's way more clubs. There's way more people. There's way more gyms. There's way more everything, right? So it exponentially gets higher. And me and this guy used to do some crazy stuff like this every single day, pretty much. But I had to give that up. Now the story with me and Dean, it was a rough one. It started off well. We had a couple of drinks. I told him 3 drinks maximum, Dean. He knew I was lying. I knew to myself I was lying. And it got to like 1 a.m., maybe 12 p.m. We went to this club called Missoula. I know this club very much well. I used to go to this club all the time. And yeah, it just got really bad. It got really, really bad. I'm like 17 drinks in, maybe. Vodka started coming out. And we grabbed 2 girls. They were both 18. They were virgins. Well, they said they were. I will bet mine was 100% a virgin. I'll tell you that in a second. And pretty much we're sealing the deal. So what happened was Dean's, the girl he went with, she didn't want to sleep with him. Now Dean's a gentleman. He's not one of these guys that's going to push. A lot of guys out there like pushing, why? He's like, okay, no problem. Let's get you home. Now I'm sealing the deal with mine, and mine was a virgin because it was an absolute disaster. My girlfriend knows I'm a little bit of a rough boy. And this girl, this 18-year-old, she wasn't having a good time. She wanted me to keep going. It got just way too... I just had to stop. She was just not having a good time, even though she was like, no, it's fine. I was like, darling, we're stopping right now. You're not having a good time. I'm not going to go ham on you. Anyways, without getting too graphical, we dropped them home. We're gentlemen, right? We dropped them home. We're not going to leave these girls on the street. That's one thing you need to understand about girls. If you're going to pull girls, at least take them home, or at least get them a taxi, or at least don't just abandon them in the street. A lot of guys out there, like Dean's girl didn't want to sleep with them. Fair enough. No problem, honey. We'll get you home. Wait till Jake's finished. Jake started. Jake couldn't finish because she was having just not a great time. So we dropped him home with a gentleman, and we go home. I dropped him off, and I went home. Absolutely fine. But the problem is, it doesn't get fine because the next day, there's no work getting done. The diet's out the window. I'll talk about this in a second, but that's pretty much the number one problem. You get absolutely smashed. You think you can handle it. And then the next day, especially if you're doing me, like my main gig is e-com on YouTube. It's becoming more YouTube. And especially if you have to make a video every single day, you know what happens? The video doesn't get done. Or if the video does get done, it's an absolute disaster. It's just total out of schedule. Diet's out of schedule. You don't go to the gym. You end up just eating pizza all day. It's not good. But here's the kicker: the instant dopamine. If you've been putting in the work, right? So this girls and like all this stuff is not going to happen if you've not been putting in the work. If you've not been taking care of your physical shape, if you've not been, being abundant in your mindset where you can pretty much do what you want, you're not going to have the confidence, or no girls are going to come up to you. So it's not going to happen anyways. Girls will just grab your arm. Guys just randomly apologizing you for nothing. Just trying to get in your circle. There was a couple of dudes out there that were just asking, hey, where are you going, guys? Where are you going? Like, not in like, hey, where are you going? It's like, hey, oh yeah, can we come? Can we come? It's crazy. Like when you put in that work and you just have this abundance mindset, you'll be amazed what can happen. It's absolutely crazy. And I've always known this, even back here. I was broke as F, and nothing's changed, right? It's just... These girls are friends. We've not even done anything with them, but this was just the norm. This was just the norm. It's always been the norm for me. But the problem is, I get a little bit excited. If you feel like shit the next day, not with the girl, it was absolutely fine. Use that. You feel like shit the next day because you're hungover. You go way too far, and I get a little bit of anxiety. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, wow, not of what I've done. It's like, hey, how much did I drink? How long is this going to take to get away? I need to get a video out. I'm not getting to the gym. Like, I get anxiety all this because I feel like the competition, and this is true, the competition didn't go out that night. If they're taking it seriously, they didn't go out. They're making a video right now. They've been in the gym. All these other people have not done what I've done. And that is part of the problem. Now, work is effed for the next 2-3 days. So if you're like me, I don't just recover the next day, brother. I need 2 to 3 days. In fact, it's Thursday right now, and I've only just recovered. And here's a cycle. Saturday's right around the corner. So it's like you're in this constant cycle. The good thing about me is, the YouTube channel is pretty much automated. It's pretty easy to keep giving value because I've been in it for a while. But if you're trying to start something new, like I was back here, it was impossible. It was, and I was going out way too many times, and it wasn't just alcohol. It was lines of cocaine. It was everything. How are you going to build a business if that's your lifestyle? You're not going to build anything, and you'll forget about all these girls. Like, I don't even, again, these were friends, they worked with us, it was like our work night out, but I ain't spoke to them ever again. I haven't spoke to them since I left that job. So it's completely a waste of time. Diet's obviously going to be out the window, so after your night out, you ain't pulling up if you're eating chicken and rice. If you're like me, I don't follow that bro spelt diet, but I'll eat a steak and eggs. But when I woke up, I was like, I need chocolate. Girlfriend, get me chocolate. I need some fizzy juice. You need all this stuff. I just have to keep going. It's going to effort your ability to work, and you're going to start looking for more. What I mean by that is you're going to start thinking, oh, well, next weekend's coming around, I can't wait for that. You're in this constant cycle, and that's the problem. Now, if you want to take this shit seriously, you have to scale this back. So I'm not telling you guys to completely stop drinking. That's not what I'm telling you, because then what's the point? Girls are part of the prize, I think. Like, we are all, if you're like me and you just want that one girl, that's fine, but chances are you're lying to yourself. Like, we all want more than one girl. Whether we like it or not, we want to love one girl, but we still want to go and have fun with girls. If you're not one of those, I fucking respect you. But if you're being truthful, you're probably lying to yourself. But I wish I could be that guy, but I'm just not that guy. I'm never going to be that guy. Maybe when I'm older, 35, 30, 45. I hope so, bro. But I'm never going to be out of that. I can't see it. It's always been the case for me since I was young. And I've always been interested in girls, even if she was an absolute 10. And my girl is an absolute 10. She's absolutely beautiful, and she's very, very lovely, and she does everything, and we have a great relationship, but it doesn't matter. I just always want it. It's just, I don't know, it's just me. But it's not just me, because everybody's like that. Like the guy I was with, he's not going to watch this video, and he's got a girl. Well, he's kind of got a girl, but he does the opposite. So he lies to her. Oh, no, I didn't do anything. That gives me anxiety. He's constantly checking, is she looking, where is she, blah, blah. I can't do that anymore. I can't do that. I'm not being that guy of like constantly worrying, and I don't want to lie. So yeah, there's two kind of ways you can do it. Or number three is you can just lie. You can lie to yourself, and just say, hey, yeah, I don't need another girl. Well, chances are you probably can get another girl. So that's what I believe. Now, I effed up last weekend. I drank way too much, and it severely hurt all areas. Like I said, the gym, work, sleep, everything went out the window, and that's a big problem, especially if you're self-employed or trying to run your business, because you can't, this would work in a 9 to 5. You pull up to 9 to 5, you're just rough. It's just like, you just get through the day. If you're up working at McDonald's, or you're in a cashier, you're working at Tesco's, you're working anywhere, you're a builder, you can plumbing through it. But if you have to make the money, there's nobody else here to say, hey, Jake, make the videos. You're fucked, because you're not going to do the work. You can get around bare minimum in 9 to 5. But you're never going to start that business, because if that's what you truly want to do, and you are if you're watching this channel, you're constantly in this cycle, and it's never going to happen. So this is what I do, or try to do, even though I broke the rule. And I genuinely believe I only broke the rule. This is not me coping, brother. I genuinely believe I only broke the rule because it was my first time out since Thailand. I genuinely believe, and I've not seen this guy in ages. So what I would normally do, and I was sticking to this in Thailand as much as I could, and it was working fantastic. I was waking up absolutely fine. There was no issues. One time a week max and go out. I used to do the Thursday and Saturday, but I can't hack it anymore. To be honest, the Thursday and Saturday, I can't do it. So mine's is going to be Saturday, most of the time. 3 to 5 GNTs. I like GNTs, choose your drink of choice. GNTs, it gets the job done for me. Any more and I go off the rails. Once I get to the 4 or 5 GNTs, I'm like, there's a decision here. It's like, hey, I'm going to keep going, and if I am going to keep going, it's going to be an absolute disaster. So I have to stop myself if I get to that 5th GNT, because I know it's one more and I'm off the rails. It's game over. I'm throwing everything out the window. So I have to physically stop myself. And I can't help myself, guys. I've got an addictive personality to drugs, to booze, to women. I've got all this instant gratification personality, and I'm not here to lie to you guys. And chances are, if you ask yourself this, if you pause the video and ask yourself this, one of these are probably yours. Well, they probably are. It's 99% of you guys. If it's me, it's all of them. I quit the drugs ages ago. The booze, I don't want to say I do it like it's once a week, and I haven't been doing it for ages. Just since I've been back and in Thailand, it just started to creep up on me a little bit, and I need to tone that down. The women, it's always going to be there, but it really doesn't. The women can be a good thing. It doesn't have to be bad. Like if you run it the way you want to run it, a woman can be a great thing. It can be absolutely fantastic. What you don't want to do, though, is stay all night, and then a lot of these guys will be texting these women, and they'll be getting stressed about the women not replying. Like that's a problem, right? That's a big problem if you're running that game. And that goes back to not working on yourself, because if you worked on yourself, these women would reply to you, they'd be begging to like triple text, quadruple text, you're in charge. Now this instant gratification, or addictive personality should I say, is also nice because it works in the other way. The only way I built an e-com stores, the e-com stores I was building back in the day, an e-com store now, and the YouTube channel, the crypto YouTube channel that I run, is because I'm very addicted to dominating the competition. Not in a bad way. I want the other guys to do well, but I'm very addicted to the numbers. So even in the gym, if I want to get leaner, like I'm very addictive. I'll start like not counting calories because that's gay to me, but I'll be like, okay, can't eat this, can't do this, can't do this. Like it's like a game. Gym, okay, numbers are going up, weights are going up, reps are going up, whatever it is, business, it's always, so it's good in both ways. So I'm glad I have this addictive personality, but unfortunately it's like a double-edged sword, because all the bad things, I don't want to say bad things because use it in moderation, but I can go off the rails very easy and it doesn't take a lot. If there was no business and gym, etc., I'd probably be dead, brother. I was going that way, to be honest. Now, I was looking at my old Instagram. This is not my Instagram, by the way, so don't go and follow this. I'm not active on this. And also, there's a lot of scams out there. Fake Jake Gordons. If you want to follow me, sure. I don't really care. But if you want to ask a question, whatever, it's always fine. And it's obvious why I wasn't making any progress. So let me just pull up my old Instagram. It's funny. Like I'm looking at every second photo. Booze, 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 booze. Getting ready to booze, 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 booze. Like they're all me absolute smashed, and it's like fuck. I didn't even realize it at the time. It's absolutely crazy. Now again, I was a naked butler, right? That was that was one of my other jobs that I was running, but this made it a severe problem because half the time I don't want to say half the time I had to be smashed, but a lot of the times I'm completely gone. I am just gone. You can see this guy's sober. I'm not sober. And you can see I was starting to put on a little bit of a belly here. It was crazy. Like I was, it's a funny photo here, guys. If you want to know the previous Jake, this is what Jake was doing. But yeah, this job, if you want to say job, it made me constantly have to be drunk because I don't know, it was just a cycle of like just being drunk. You could see here the physique was looking better. There's some shoulders here. But as I progressed, I got very, very, very out of shape pretty fast. You know, I was in good shape. I had a six pack and then it severely went. And again, back here, if I scroll back, I was very much into my fitness. I was living in Dumfries here. And then guess what? Moved to Glasgow, started going out with this girl here. Moved to Glasgow, or Hamilton it was at the time, but you know Glasgow's pretty much right there. And then you could see, okay, now the nightlife starts to create. There was no nightlife for here. There was no nightlife for here, and there was no nightlife before that. There was none, zero, maybe once every 6 months. It was zero. And guess what happens, guys? Nightlife started to creep in. More girls started to creep in, and you're finishing nights looking like this. How are you supposed to start a business if that's what you're doing, guys? Like how? It's fun, it's good memories, but any of these guys remember it? It's a good story. It makes for a good story like we're telling right now. You're probably laughing at us going, fuck Jake, you're crazy, man. Not good shape here. But it didn't last, brother. It didn't last. I had to severely get rid of that. And I was really trying to start e-com stores at this time. I got there eventually because I said enough is enough. I need to get out of this. If you want to take this shit seriously, I need to quit that. And then I can bring that back in with higher level guys, like the people I'm drinking with, or not, I don't want to say drinking with, but the people I'm hanging around with. Went to a mastermind, like I said, with Jack, the CEO of Testosterone. First man was there. Nice little drink with them, nice little cigar with them. It's a different kind of lifestyle. We're talking business. It's way more fun. You're not just going out just to get drunk, because these guys are lovely. These guys are fucking legends. And it's not these guys I'm talking about, but let's just pretend this is a random guy I don't even know. You get rid of the drink. Why would you even come? The only chances are is because of the drink, right? Imagine if you could get rid of the drink and you're still fucking having a good time. That's the kind of buddies you want to hang around with. So that's what I will tell you guys. if you are drinking right now, or if you have got a little bit of problem, just be honest with yourself. And if you want to start a business, you're competing against guys like me that barely ever drink, or try to barely never drink. After the story I just gave you, it's like, oh fuck, he's an alcoholic. But honestly, you got to quit it. You got to quit it if you're at square zero. Once you progress up the ladder, you can introduce it again, but don't go crazy with it, because it's very fast to go back to square one. You can start losing it all. And I've noticed since I started bringing this back into my life, the YouTube channel views have started to go down. I'm like, why is that happening? The videos aren't as good. Why are the videos not good? Because my mind's foggy. Physique might be starting to go. I probably put on a little bit more body fat. It doesn't look like it because I'm fucking still jacked, I guess. But I've put on a little bit of body fat. So it fucks up all areas of life. So hopefully this helped. Long one. Hopefully you got some value. Take action. Get started in that business.